Something strange in the neighborhood. Buster makes me feel good. Extreme.
Toon Jam.
Toon Jam.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Spooktober Toon Jam. Ooh. But this week we are getting extreme with the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
You know the Ghostbusters, but not like this, unless you've watched it before. Then you might.
You
do.
might have.
So a little bit of info about. Oh, by the way, I'm Matt.
And I'm Jamie.
Oh, sorry, nearly forgot that one there. As I was saying, the Extreme Ghostbusters is an American animated television series and a follow-up to the animated series The Real Ghostbusters. It's a part of the Ghostbusters franchise, and the series originally aired on in 1997. Features a team of younger college-level Ghostbusters who are led by veteran Ghostbuster Egon Spengler.
Oh yeah.
In some TV listings, the show was known as Ghostbusters Dark.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, spooky.
So originally, it was going to be known as Super Ghostbusters. They started making it, and it was with like college level kids, but then they decided to do it with misfits.
Yeah.
So sort of heroes that you wouldn't usually see. And what came out was the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And oh boy,
Were they extreme?
yeah, they blooming well were. So, without further ado, shall we move on to memories?
Yes.
So, Extreme Ghostbusters. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah.
Do you know about it?
Yeah.
If you watched it,
Yeah. I remember it. I do remember watching it. I really enjoyed it when I was younger. Yeah. I always liked the idea of Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And so this was cool that it was like, it looked like a 90s show.
Yeah, it does look. It looks very different, doesn't it?
Yeah. From the other stuff.
Yeah.
I just like the premise. It was kind of dark enough that it was like a little bit spooky.
Yeah, it's quite different, isn't it?
Mm.
I mean, I never watched it.
Really?
I never watched Extreme. I loved the Ghostbusters, but I never watched Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I guess I must have, by the time it had come out, maybe wasn't as big a fan of Ghostbusters.
Right.
But I remember the old ones, and I remember like the fake Ghostbusters. The reason, because they had to call it the Real Ghostbusters for a reason, didn't they?
Yeah.
And I remember the other one, and it was very similar.
Yeah.
But I remember that had an actual ghost, as like like they've got Slimer.
Yeah.
It was a ghost that looked like the one in the logo.
Yeah. Oh
as
yeah.
the mate, and he was
Yeah.
like in the car and stuff.
Yeah, that's so weird. Forgot about
I have to look that one up. Maybe
Yeah.
do that one, but because it's just weird.
the unreal Ghostbusters.
Yeah, just do like knockoff month or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
That's a weird one.
yeah. But yeah, I never watched Extreme
Never
Ghostbusters.
watched
I remember it coming out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never just. It looks a lot like Men in Black.
Yeah, it does.
The art style.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
almost exactly the same.
Yeah. Very angular characters and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
So maybe I was just watching Men in Black at the time.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Instead.
Just like, yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't really. I mean, yeah, it says there's 40 episodes, ran for one season, so wasn't on for too long.
Yeah, that's weird.
But yeah.
Yeah. Well,
There you go. You have memories, I do not.
there you go.
I mean, I have memories of Ghostbusters, so
Yeah.
the premise itself is.
Yeah.
Who doesn't have memories of Ghostbusters?
That's it. Yeah.
Even kids now have memories of Ghostbusters.
It's true. Yeah.
They're just different ones.
They're very different. Yeah.
But still, they know the Ghostbusters.
That's it. They know.
You know.
We've got it there. It's one of those
There's
things.
probably some people out there that only watched the Extreme Ghostbusters.
Yeah. and they were like, "Who are all these other?
Yeah, what are you on
Ghostbusters?"
about?
Yeah.
Okay, well, with that said, let's go to our playthrough.
Rewind. Playthrough. Well. Well. The Extreme Ghostbusters. We have, like we said, Egon is still about.
Yeah.
And he's
sort of heading up the team, isn't he?
Yeah. So he's kind of he trains these new guys in how to use all the equipment.
Yeah.
They've still got like the trademark stuff. You've got the trapper. You've got the stuff with the beams, the backpacks, and all that kind of jazz. So. It's very much like you kind of, if you know Ghostbusters, you're used to what it is going in.
I mean, they've basically got the Ninja Turtles set up, haven't they?
Yeah.
The tech head.
Yeah.
The leader. The
aggressive one.
The aggressive one.
Yeah.
And the stupid one.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, I say stupid. It's more like the funny one. Isn't it?
Yeah. You've got the
comic one.
The outfit's pretty solid. And so in this one, we follow them on another case where it's basically a guy had been going into a basement of a building that they're trying to renovate or something.
Yeah.
And then he'd found himself like looking down to like streets like hundreds and thousands of feet below him, and he was gripping onto a beam to save his life because he had a fear of falling.
Yeah.
And so he ended up getting like emergency like evac'd out of the place or whatever. Chuck him in an ambulance because he's like terrified, like scared to death. Almost spooky.
Too spooky. Too extreme.
Extreme. And so the Ghostbusters turn up on the scene to find out what's going on because they use their little. They've got their little sensors, haven't they? That give them like readings for like paranormal things.
Yeah.
Very much like Most Haunted, if you've ever seen that.
Yeah, I mean that's probably where they got the idea from.
They probably bought them from the Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
So they head down to this basement. It seems to be like underground, like just of all these buildings, and they end up getting separated and go into different rooms. And what happens is the thing that they're hunting them starts projecting images into their minds, and we find out that what's happening is they're experiencing their deepest fear one at a time. And so it unravels that like everyone's fear starts to come to the surface. So we see the girl, she's like falls down into a pit and is covered by maggots. There's maggots crawling all over her, like hundreds of thousands of them. And then she gets chased by, they sort of amalgamate into one giant maggot.
And it's pretty grim.
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
Huge.
Big slimy slobbering thing. And so she's busy trying to run away from that because that's pretty terrifying. We've got there's like the leader guy or whatever, who's like he said, my only fear is the equipment not working. Like his is very brief in the fact that like I think his backpack starts malfunctioning and then it turns into
a spider, robotic thing.
And it starts chasing him.
You don't really see, you see him, it's like the first one to happen and then they just clear off.
That's just like, we haven't got anything else for that
one. It's not interesting.
No. Then you've got like the other two guys. So there's the dude in the wheelchair, Garrett, is
Garrett,
and then there's the other guy who's got a bit of a beard or whatever.
He looks like Shaggy, Scooby-Doo, but like an extreme Shaggy.
It's like extreme, possibly Latino Shaggy. And those two are like trying to be macho about it and like, I'm not afraid of anything, man. Like, what's your fear? And it's like, I don't really have one. And then we see that Garrett. We found out earlier in the episode he kind of got locked in a closet.
Well, they've all said at some point, haven't they, like what they're afraid of.
And he's trying to hide his, but he's claustrophobic. So the confined spaces start to like frighten him, whereas the other guy, he's actually scared of death. And so that sort of manifests in the fact that like a zombie version of him comes out,
following him around.
Just
come out and go, I'm you.
Just lurk around after it. So he's constantly, this bluish version of him just keeps lumbering towards it. The whole time.
Just stuff.
So that's pretty funny. That's pretty cool way of like depicting it, because there is a coffin at one place, and that's kind of both their fears, because Garrett doesn't want to get trapped inside of it and he doesn't want to see what's inside of it. So it's quite a good way of doing them both at the same time. But they all manage to kind of they're constantly running around all these other rooms. They manage to meet back together and
Garrett
decide.
figures out, doesn't he? Like,
Yeah.
the way to get rid of it is by saying there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
It's
He
just
keeps
fear
saying
itself.
that to himself.
Yeah, so he kind of psychs himself up.
Yeah.
So he's he's not afraid of it anymore. And when they manage to get back together, they realise that they can, if they attack each other's fear, that's the best way to handle it, because they're not afraid of other people's fear. So they kind of just do a big switch up, battle the stuff out, use the beams, use the trappers, whatever, like get it all done. And then eventually they stumble across this sort of very small, like, you know, it kind of looks like an alien, but it's
like an insecty alien, isn't it? Like, it's just supposed to be a monster, isn't it? They just say it's been there for years.
That's it, just like staying underneath the surface. And all it's doing is they're basically just say, you know, it's like its defense mechanism. It's scared, and so by making you scared, it keeps you away from it. And so eventually they just like concrete it.
Yeah, they just like lock it up in a certain part of this underground system.
Yeah, and just leave it alone, which seems like a really weird ending. But then that pretty much is the end of the episode.
Yeah. Toon Jam! Toon Jam!
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing, having not seen it before, first thing you notice is they're trying to do the whole it feels a bit almost box ticky.
Right. Yeah.
So you've got a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
There's a girl on the team now.
Yeah.
Possibly a Latino guy.
Yeah.
And a black guy.
Yeah.
And the first thing you think is like, it's almost like that. Is that why it's extreme?
Yeah.
It's just like because of these extreme.
Yeah, extreme members of society.
But you watch it for a bit and you forget.
Yeah.
So it goes away, no problem. And they deal with it quite well. Like, the guy in the wheelchair is very annoying. Yeah. Because he's constantly saying how not afraid he is in this episode. Yeah, no man, I'm a cool guy. No way, I'm not afraid of anything. Yo. It gets pretty irritating.
Really quick.
But other than that, it was. You start to think, actually, I can see why, and then you start to realise how often you don't see people in wheelchairs in cartoons. Yeah. Unless it's Professor X.
That's it.
In like that floating.
The gliding golden one.
And you just think like, oh yeah.
That is weird, isn't it?
You never see
no representation.
So actually, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's it. It went from something that was like, oh, this is a bit box ticky, but then I quite like that about it by the end of it.
Yeah. And like I think they do a good job of like, I mean, he is clearly overcompensating the whole time, but like it's pretty cool that, you know, there's those moments where he's like, he just takes stairs up, like, check this out, just like nails it down the stairs.
And like he's annoying, but there's times when you're not annoyed with him as well, so you don't hate him. You're just a bit like, oh, shut up now. Which is kind of his character anyway. So it's not too bad.
That's it.
The story was pretty cool.
Like it seemed like
it's not original.
No,
I feel like I've seen it before somewhere.
Oh yeah, I definitely I've seen that many times.
Most horror themed anything. But
it was done in an alright way. Like it was like, oh yeah, that's fairly cool. Like what they've done.
It feels different to Ghostbusters. Like they didn't. There's only like one ghost in it, and that's Slimer. Who's like their pal. Because he was in the cartoons. It was always disappointing when you saw him in the film. You're like, when you watch the film, you're like, what?
Why is he?
Why is he like a? Why don't they like him? It's like he's their mate. But
it's pretty funny in this as well because this fear was broccoli.
Which is like classic 90s demonstrating a hate of vegetables that is still stuck with a lot of our generation to this day.
Trying to reinforce the fact that like sugary treats are way better and tastier. And
it did have an effect.
It did work.
You see now, which is quite funny.
That's it.
Ridiculous, really, but
real, extreme.
And you can see it was a joke as well. It is like quite funny. Like he's afraid of broccoli.
Yeah, like they're all like, there's a dead guy following him and a giant maggot monster.
Yeah.
And Slimer's just in a room with broccoli on a plate.
Screaming, even though he can go through walls,
Yeah.
just the whole time like screaming. And they just have to put a lid on it.
Yeah.
Like.
That's true.
But yeah, then they're all like real things, aren't they? Like monsters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there's that one at the start, isn't it? That's just like a massive guy that they just shoot his head off and his tongue comes out.
Yeah.
They're more like monsters, aren't they?
They are, yeah.
They are more like aliens.
They are, yeah. They do seem like... Whereas before, it's just kind of like they're apparitions, aren't they? And they
Yeah.
kind of,
I mean, they're Ghostbusters.
they're ghosts. Yeah. But now
That's
they're
right.
like monster fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a bit strange.
But I think that's part of the extreme side.
Yeah,
Because they
yeah.
look a bit scarier, don't they?
Yeah.
Like like that thing with his head popping off. And that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It looks a bit darker. You can see why some of them were. It was dark Ghostbusters in some regions. Cause it is,
I mean, you could tell it was extreme because the intro at the start is just a metal version of the Ghostbusters song.
It's so weird.
Was pretty hilarious. I was like, oh,
yeah.
this
Get
is the
ready.
ride we're about to take.
Are you ready? You are now.
You are now. Let's go for it.
That's it.
And it's like, oh boy.
Man. Yeah.
The art style.
Yeah.
Were you a fan?
I quite like that look. Like, it's not my favourite,
No.
but it's like I like, I don't know, it sort of makes it everything looks kind of dynamic, looks a little bit edgier. Like, I think it works for this kind of show where
I
they're
think
trying to be.
it's good for the monsters. I didn't like it was like not all the characters look bad, but sort of like the gothy characters were a bit overboard almost, and it's just like no one looks like that. Like I know it's a cartoon, but it just almost looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think possibly because the others didn't. Do you know what I mean? Some of them looked normal and some of them looked well stylized.
Yeah.
But the monsters were good.
Yeah. I can't remember. There's in my head it's like it kind of looks like X-Men Evolution, but I don't know if I'm thinking that right.
No,
I'm just like thinking because of some character looks.
It's definitely got it. So I mean, I think Men in Black.
Yeah, Men in Black
sure
is
it's
definitely
the same art.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It does. There's a familiar tone to it, and it was cool. I mean, it's cool when you see characters like Slimer because even though they look different, you can still see.
Yeah, it still looks the same,
and it does give it sort of a new edge.
Yeah.
But the trouble is because it carries on from the old one, it almost looks so different from it. That
everything looks kind of weird.
Connect them together.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. So.
But yeah, it's a cool it's a
cool premise.
Yeah, and it's a cool way of like making it.
Yeah.
Another way that they've made it different from the other one.
Yeah.
So it wasn't just like we're just going to do more of the same sort of thing. It's like this is clearly we're separating it from the other one. Like this is the extreme version.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was a fairly enjoyable episode. Like it was clearly one of those like this is just another it's another adventure they go on, another thing they tackle. And it was done fairly enjoyable, fairly easy to get to grips with.
Yeah.
There
was no confusion, was there?
No.
And you knew characters you get to grips with straight away.
Yeah.
Within the first 10 minutes, you know who everyone is and what they're doing. Even because I'd not seen it before or anything.
Yeah.
So you get exactly what's going on.
That's
you see Egon and you're like, oh right, okay, so they're just the next generation.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, shall we go to our ratings?
Yeah.
Okay, so here at Toon Jam, we have a 3-point rating system. It goes as follows: thumbs up, diversity for the win. Thumbs down, a scary plate of broccoli. And shaky middle. There's nothing to fear but fear itself. So good, bad, or sort of in the middle. Yeah. So extreme Ghostbusters. Nothing to fear but fear itself. Ooh. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I like the look of it. Characters were decent enough. Like, good way of adding diversity, and they handled it well. It wasn't just like I'm a girl and I can do this now.
Yeah,
it's just like it was like they're just they're normal people, but they just happen to look like this or whatever.
There was no
they didn't ham it on as much as other people do. Like the monsters are pretty cool. Monsters / ghosts are pretty cool. It was like this episode in particular was like it's clearly a rehash of ideas that other people have done, but it wasn't terrible. It wasn't worse. I mean, I haven't really got anything bad to say about it much. Like I wouldn't mind, like I'd watch another couple episodes. And be like, it's all right. Like it's fairly enjoyable. So I mean, for me, it's going to be a thumbs up. I think.
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
spectacular.
No qualms. Too spooky.
Yeah, it's the I like what they've done, and I do like the sort of the way that they've changed it for a new generation, but in the right way.
Yeah.
I don't particularly like all of the characters. The main one, Garrett in the wheelchair, was annoying, but it wasn't him. It was the guy that looked like Shaggy.
Yeah.
Was really just like, oh, shut up.
Yeah.
I didn't like him at all. I also, it didn't. The trouble is, it didn't have, for me, the things that I liked about Ghostbusters,
right?
Which was sort of, I don't know, the ghosts themselves weren't like just weird monsters.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there was something about being in the the building they were in, like the old fire station. And there's sort of a charm to it, like with more about the gear and stuff. And you didn't really see much of that. It was more like they had guns, like they were just shooting the heads off things, and it was a bit like, I liked the whole, you've got this beam and it traps them, and then I know they still had it all, but it wasn't like they were using it. And I don't know, maybe in different episodes that comes into play a bit more. But I am probably going to be a shaky middle. Because it didn't pull it in for me. I'd rather an original Ghostbusters sort of theme. Like the characters in the original Ghostbusters sort of same thingy would have been fine, but it was more the new, the modern take on it. I think that was my problem.
I think Ghostbusters is a tough one to do. I mean, like, as we've seen, like people hold it quite dear or whatever, and like there are like it was a well done thing in the first place. Like it's got lots of little key features there, like that really contribute towards like what everyone enjoyed about it. So when you have got to go in and change it and stuff, like it's a tough one to to take on board.
And
so I don't envy them.
I don't think it's. I wouldn't give it a thumbs down because I don't think. Obviously, it's not an easy thing, and I do think you should try and do this with franchises and stuff, especially for cartoons. I mean, look at Ninja Turtles is a prime example. There's been so many versions. Some are really good. Some are not good. I don't know if you've seen the most recent one.
I haven't seen them.
I watched one episode of it, and I was at thumbs down in advance on that one. Maybe it gets better, but it's just so. It almost is too different, and you just think like the art and blah blah blah, all these things that you don't like, but you know that they'll make another one down the line, and then maybe it'll be crap again, or maybe it'll be good, whatever. And I do think you shouldn't not, with things like this, you shouldn't not make them again, because if you can, people enjoy it. Why not?
And there's always going to be
the old ones.
No, it doesn't. And there's always going to be like, this one's probably somebody's favourite Ghostbusters.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's going to be some people that prefer this one to the others.
So why not?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm a shaky middle, but
still fair.
It's no thumbs down.
That's it.
By a long shot. It's a higher shaky middle as well, if there's such a thing.
Yeah.
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Week 2 of Spooktober. Woo! A thumbs up and a shaky middle. Getting better. Warmer. Nearly at Jack-o'-lantern. So join us again next week. If you enjoyed what you heard, please feel free to rate and review us. It really, really helps us out. And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so on the 3 ghouls of the internet: Facebook, Instagram and Twitter at Toon Jam Pod. We also have a Patreon where you can get some extra stuff for your money. But otherwise, hopefully we will see you again next week. And until then, stay extreme!
Hey everyone, thank you for listening to Toon Jam. And if you want to continue to help us out, you can help us by jumping over to our Patreon page, which is patreon.com/toonjampod. And if you can rate and review us everywhere you listen to your podcasts, so on iTunes or on the Android apps, that'll be a massive help too. Thank you, and stay jammy.